Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and I want to do something a little bit different in this video. We've had many people over the last few weeks asking, what do I need to become a sim racer? What do I need to buy? Is this good enough? Etc, etc. Now, what I want to do in this video is, if you're just starting out into sim racing, what I'm going to try and do is just sort of give you a brief insight of what would be like the bare minimum of having as your setup for your racing rig or your racing setup, whatever you may choose to do or not to do. The reason why I'm saying this, obviously we run a very successful Rookie Championship here at Toga Motorsport, and basically obviously we're getting brand new people in all the time, new people coming into sim racing, never done sim racing before, getting back into sim racing. So basically what I wanted to do is just sort of clear up all the questions that we've had and just sort of go over a brief overview really of what we would probably recommend as a sort of a base level setup, if you like. It doesn't have, it could be as expensive or as cheap as you want it to be. It can always evolve. Like my rig that I'm in now has built up over the last sort of two and a bit years. Just been able to bolt things on as and when, change what I can and what I can't change, etc, etc. So I guess the first thing I need to say is, if you're racing in any league, please don't use one of these. A keyboard, please don't use it. You can't get any control about doing any steering or anything like that. This is obviously just an example keyboard that I've got. You could use one of these. It's an Xbox 360 controller. Obviously you can use a PlayStation controller, or you can get another controller of like a generic controller. Obviously you still have that range of movement in the joysticks, and obviously you got all the buttons and stuff to turn the car or turn the car off, flash the lights, etc, etc. I mean, as much as I wouldn't recommend using a controller, it's a lot better than obviously using a keyboard. So I guess you could get away with just using a controller to sim race. We've seen a few people still racing on controller, so I guess that would be a starting block if you're literally brand new to sim racing and you don't have a steering wheel to hand, or you can't afford a steering wheel at this current stage. The next best thing would be a controller, I suppose. And then you could go down the route of completely the opposite end of the spectrum. You could get yourself a fully bespoke or a fully custom, or I say fully custom, but a direct drive wheel. This is obviously a Moza KS, I believe it is. Obviously I've got a Moza direct drive base. And obviously this is not high end by any way, shape or form, but it's still an upgrade from this. And obviously in between you've got like a Logitech G920 or a G27 or G29 Thrustmaster steering wheels as well, sort of entry level steering wheels. So it doesn't matter really what you do, but I would just probably recommend not having a keyboard. Next up is rigs. Obviously I've got the GT Omega Prime rig. I started off with the GT Omega ART rig, so I've got sort of experience of having a sort of an entry-level rig to a sort of a forever rig, if you like. This is what I would class this rig as. Again, this is not finished. You can see a few messy bits. I'm still sort of, you can see behind the back of my monitors, still trying to work out what I want. I've obviously got there's a base there that I need to change over time, but again, it's financial, so obviously sim racing is not cheap. So this is my forever rig. I very much doubt this rig will ever sort of be changed in any way. The aluminium profile itself, it's sturdy, it's rock solid. Obviously I'm a slightly bigger guy, so it fits nicely for me. It's got the RS XL seat as well, so it's quite a lot bigger seat. Maybe in the future I'd get a bucket seat, but again, bucket seats aren't very comfortable for endurance racing, or if we want to do a long prolonged race. And maybe a bucket seat is probably not the right option, but it's there if I want it. If I'm going back to rigs, obviously as you can see, this is the GT Omega ART cockpit. Obviously I've owned one of these. In fact, I own this exact one. I bought the RS9 seat itself. Obviously you can see the price is obviously prices based in the UK. So £389, but for me this is like entry level, an entry level style rig. It's not as sturdy as the Prime rig or the Prime Light rig, but it does exactly what you need it to do. For me, it ticked every box I needed it to do. I just wanted a better rig. Alternatively, and again, I've not had hands-on experience, is the Next Level Racing GT Lite Pro. It's a little bit cheaper than the ART rig, but with the Pro you can obviously fold it all up when you're finished. For me, I have a dedicated space where I can have my rig out, which is great, but obviously sometimes people don't necessarily have a dedicated space to put their rig. Alternatively, you could build custom rigs. I've seen a lot of people build their rigs out of wood, or they bolt their rigs to their desks. It's all a preference thing and all a what can I afford type of scenario, and that's basically all there is to it. There isn't anything else that I could really put together and say in this video apart from you can spend as little or as much as you want on getting the right setup for you. I would start, if you're thinking about seriously getting involved in sim racing, I would personally not go straight all in, spend what, £300, £400, £500 on a rig, spend the same, maybe even more on a direct drive wheel, or the accessories that go with it, so on and so forth. You can just get away with starting off with a controller. I would also, touching upon steering wheels, I would obviously start looking at things like the G29, the G27, maybe look up on Facebook Marketplace if you want to pick up Facebook Marketplace products. I've sold steering wheels on there before, and I've bought steering wheels on there before, and they're just as good as buying them off the shelf. You don't necessarily have to buy brand new, but it's all again down to personal preference. You can spend as much or as little as you want depending on your budget, etc, etc. So hopefully this is sort of a shortish video on what do I need to buy for sim racing. There are so many different alternatives out there to buy. I've just given you a couple that I know of people used or have had personal experiences with myself. So hopefully this gives you a bit more information about exactly how rigs are and stuff like that. If you like this video at any stage, please do consider hitting that subscribe button, and don't forget to ding dong that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest changes. And if you have liked this video and you want to show your appreciation, do consider hitting that thumbs up button, and put yourself a little comment as well about what rig you're racing or if this video helped you. But again, don't be worried about not having the best setup. I think that's the key thing. Don't worry about it. Even if you do just have to run with a controller for a small period of time, that's just okay. You know, that's fine. You don't have to have the best thing straight away. You can build yourself up to it like I have. And again, this is not the best I can buy. There's so much more things I could spend, but just do it as and when you can. I've been Hayden from Togo Motorsport. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.